Once upon a time, in a small village, there lived a humble man named Ibrahim. He was a respected figure in his community, known for his kindness, wisdom, and strong faith in Allah. His son, Ahmad, was his pride and joy, and Ibrahim would often teach him valuable life lessons. One evening, as they sat together, Ibrahim noticed a change in Ahmad. His son seemed restless, distracted, and not his usual cheerful self. Ibrahim asked, "My son, what is troubling you? You have been quiet all evening." Ahmad sighed and said, "Father, I don't understand why some of the other boys in our village are so successful. They have wealth, they have fame, and everyone praises them. Yet I feel that I work harder than them. I pray, I study, and I strive, but it feels as if I am being overlooked." Ibrahim's heart sank. He had noticed the signs of jealousy in Ahmad, and he knew that this feeling, if not controlled, could harm his son's heart and his connection with Allah. Ibrahim decided to teach Ahmad an important lesson. He gently placed his hand on his son's shoulder and began to share a story from his own youth, a story that held a powerful lesson. "There was once a man who lived in a neighboring village," Ibrahim began. "He was a pious man, dedicated to his worship, yet he had a struggle in his heart. He was deeply jealous of the success of others. His neighbor, a poor farmer, was always the subject of praise for his humility and kindness. The pious man found himself envious of this farmer, who seemed to possess qualities that people loved, qualities that the pious man himself struggled to attain." Ahmad listened intently, curious about the story. Each day, the pious man watched the farmer from a distance. He noticed how everyone would smile at him, praise him for his generosity, and seek his advice. The pious man grew angry, thinking, "Why does he receive all this attention, while my deeds go unnoticed?" One day, he went to the farmer's house and spoke his heart. "You are loved by everyone," the pious man said, "but I have been worshipping Allah for many years. I fast, I pray, I give charity, and yet no one praises me like they praise you. Why is that?" The farmer smiled kindly and replied, "My dear brother, I do not seek praise from people. Everything I do for the sake of Allah. I try to keep my heart pure, and I ask Allah for sincerity in my actions. If you desire the praise of people, then you will never find peace. But if you seek the pleasure of Allah alone, then you will find a reward far greater than the praise of any human being." Ibrahim paused, looking at Ahmad with a meaningful gaze. "Ahmad, what do you think the pious man learned from the farmer's words?" Ahmad thought deeply for a moment before replying. "He learned that seeking the pleasure of Allah is more important than seeking the approval of people." Ibrahim nodded and said, "Exactly." The pious man later went back to his worship with a renewed heart. He focused less on what others thought of him and more on purifying his intentions for Allah. Over time, his heart became filled with peace, and his good deeds became more sincere. Allah, in His infinite mercy, rewarded him not with fame, but with something far greater: contentment. Ibrahim paused for a moment, then continued, "But let me share with you another story, one that illustrates the dangers of jealousy and the importance of sincerity even more clearly." Once, a young man named Musa lived in a city. He was a talented artist, and his work was admired by all who saw it. People would come from distant lands just to view his paintings. Yet, despite his success, Musa's heart was troubled. He had a friend, Zakaria, who was also an artist, but his work was not as recognized. Zakaria's paintings were modest, and only a few people truly appreciated them. Musa began to notice Zakaria's growing fame and the admiration people had for his art. With each passing day, Musa felt his jealousy growing. One night, unable to bear it any longer, he confronted Zakaria and asked, "Why do people praise you when your work is so simple and unimpressive? You are not as skilled as I am. Why do they love your paintings?" Zakaria, who was always humble, smiled gently, and said, "My dear friend, I never sought their praise. I simply created what Allah inspired me to create. I never compared myself to others, nor did I covet their success. Instead, I always sought to please Allah in every stroke of my brush." Musa was taken aback. Zachariah continued, "True success is not in the praise of people, but in the pleasure of Allah. If you are sincere in your art, Allah will grant you a reward far beyond what this world can offer. But if you seek the praise of people, you will only find emptiness in your heart." Hearing this, Musa's jealousy began to fade. He realized that his heart had been corrupted by his desire for recognition. He began to pray to Allah for sincerity in his work and for peace in his heart. Over time, Musa's art began to shine in a way it never had before, not because of fame, but because it was done for the sake of Allah. Ibrahim finished the story, looking at his son with love. "Ahmad, jealousy comes from a place of weakness in the heart. It stems from comparing yourself to others and desiring what they have. But when you focus on your own sincerity and seek only the pleasure of Allah, you will find true peace and contentment. Don't let the praise of people distract you from what is truly important: pleasing Allah." Ahmad was silent for a moment, his heart reflecting on the lessons his father had shared. "Father, I understand now," he said quietly. "I was jealous because I wanted others to notice me. But now I see that I should seek only Allah's pleasure and be sincere in what I do." Ibrahim smiled warmly at his son. "Remember, my son, sincerity is the key to all good deeds. When you are sincere, you will not be affected by jealousy or the opinions of others. Allah knows what is in your heart, and He will reward you for your sincerity in this world and the next." And with that, the father and son sat together in silence, both reflecting on the deep truths they had just shared. Ibrahim knew that his son had learned an important lesson about jealousy and the importance of focusing on Allah alone. This story illustrates the dangers of jealousy and the importance of sincerity in everything we do. True success lies in purifying our intent, only the pleasure of Allah, not the praise of people. When we focus on sincerity, we can find peace and contentment in the heart, free from the destructive effects of envy.
If this story inspired you, don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment below. And for more powerful stories and life lessons, make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Your support helps us reach and inspire more hearts like yours.